A young girl, Emma, sits on a small stool near a busy sidewalk, her artwork neatly displayed on a makeshift stand. Each painting is filled with color and emotion, telling a silent story of hope and resilience. Passers-by glance at her work, some stopping briefly, others walking past without a second thought. Emma smiles at every potential customer, her frail hands gripping a sign that reads, "Selling my art to fund my chemo. Thank you for your support." Despite her struggle, her eyes shine with determination. A few kind-hearted individuals purchase a painting or drop money into the small jar beside her. But she knows it's not enough. The cost of her treatment looms over her like a dark cloud, yet she refuses to give up. Then, a tall, well-dressed man stops in front of her stand. He examines her paintings with genuine admiration. Emma watches as he picks up a canvas featuring a sunset over the ocean, her personal favorite. "Did you paint this?" he asks, his voice warm yet curious. Emma nods. "Yes, I love painting sunsets. They remind me that no matter how dark the night gets, the sun always rises again." The man smiles, reaching for his wallet. "How much for this one?" Emma hesitates. $50, she says, unsure if it's too much. The man pulls out his checkbook instead and begins writing. Emma's eyes widen as he hands her a check. She gasps. The amount written is far more than she ever expected. Enough to cover all. Her chemotherapy sessions. Tears fill her eyes. I don't know what to say. The man kneels beside her. "Just keep painting, Emma. The world needs more of your light." Onlookers, who had been watching the scene unfold, erupt in applause. Some are moved to tears, others step forward to buy her remaining artwork, inspired by the man's generosity. As he walks away, Emma clutches the check to her chest, overwhelmed by gratitude. Hope fills her heart like never before. This was more than just an act of kindness. It was a miracle. Emma wipes her tears, still unable to believe what just happened. The crowd around her lingers, murmuring about the stranger's generosity. A woman kneels beside her, taking her hands gently. "You're an inspiration, sweetheart," she says, slipping a few extra bills into Emma's donation jar. Others follow, each wanting to contribute in their own way. One man offers to feature her paintings in his local gallery. A journalist in the crowd pulls out a notebook, eager to share Emma's story with the world. A young girl, no older than 8, tugs at her mother's sleeve. "Mom, can I buy one too?" she asks, pointing to a small painting of a blooming sunflower. The mother nods, and the little girl hands Emma a crumpled $5 bill. Emma smiles, her heart swelling. "Thank you so much." As the afternoon turns to evening, Emma realizes something incredible. She has sold every single piece of art. Where once sat a full stand of paintings, now remains only an empty easel and a heart full of hope. Her mother, who had been standing nearby, rushes to embrace her. "Emma, this is a blessing, a true miracle." Emma clutches the check from the kind stranger, holding it tightly as if afraid it might disappear. "Mom, we can finally pay for my treatment." Tears flow freely between them, but this time they're tears of joy. Later that night, Emma sits at her small desk, a fresh canvas in front of her. The weight of worry is gone, replaced by something she had been missing for so long: peace. With careful strokes, she begins to paint again. Not out of desperation, but out of love. Love for the art, love for the kindness she witnessed, and love for the people who believed in her. Her story spreads online, touching thousands of hearts. Donations pour in, not just for Emma, but for other children battling illness. Her simple act of selling artwork for survival turns into a movement, one of hope, kindness, and community. And somewhere, miles away, the generous stranger reads about Emma's journey, smiling to himself. He knew he had made a difference, but little did he realize, Emma's light was now shining far beyond that busy street corner. It was just the beginning. Days pass, and Emma's story spreads like wildfire. News outlets pick it up, social media floods with posts about her courage, and donations continue to pour in. Strangers from across the country send letters, encouragement, and even requests for her artwork. One evening, as Emma and her mother sit at the kitchen table sorting through the overwhelming support, the phone rings. Her mother answers, her face shifting from curiosity to shock. Yes, this is Emma's mother, she says, her voice trembling slightly. Wait, who is this again? Emma watches as her mother's eyes widen. A moment later, she hands the phone to Emma with a shaking hand. Sweetheart, it's for you. Emma hesitantly takes the phone. Hello? A warm, familiar voice responds. Emma, it's me, the man who bought your painting. Emma's breath catches. Oh, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much for everything you did for me. The man chuckles softly. I should be thanking you. Your strength and talent inspired me, and I wanted to do something more. Emma's brow furrows. More? I own an art gallery, he continues, a rather well-known one, and I would be honored if you would allow me to feature your paintings in an exhibition, not just to sell them, but to share your story with the world. Emma gasps, glancing at her mother, who covers her mouth in disbelief. An exhibition? Yes, the man says, and all proceeds will go toward your treatment and helping other children who are fighting the same battle. Tears well up in Emma's eyes. She looks down at her hands, still smudged with paint, still filled with the passion that kept her going even in the darkest times. I'd love that, she whispers. Thank you. Months later, Emma stands in a grand art gallery, surrounded by her paintings. People of all ages admire her work, many wiping away tears as they read about her journey. The exhibition is a massive success, raising not only funds, but awareness for childhood cancer. Emma, now stronger and healthier, takes the stage to thank everyone. She looks into the crowd and spots the man who changed her life, smiling proudly. Terbertui saved me, she says, her voice steady and filled with emotion. But kindness healed me. The audience erupts in applause, but Emma knows this is just the beginning. She's no longer just a girl fighting illness. She's an artist, an advocate, and a symbol of hope. And her story will continue to inspire the world, one painting at a time. As the exhibition draws to a close, Emma walks through the gallery, taking in the sight of people connecting with her work. Each painting carries a piece of her journey, her struggles, her hopes, and the love that kept her going. A woman approaches, wiping away tears. Your art is beautiful, she says, but your story, it gives me hope. My son is battling cancer too, and seeing what you've accomplished, it gives me strength. Emma reaches for the woman's hand, squeezing it gently. He's not alone. None of us are. More families share their stories, and Emma realizes something powerful. This is bigger than just her. This is a movement. the man who made it. All possible. Baron Trumbull, as she now knows him, watches from a distance, nodding in approval. He sees not just a talented artist, but a young girl who has become a beacon of light for so many. That night, as Emma sits in her small art studio, at home, she starts a new painting, one unlike any she's ever created. This one isn't just for her, or even for those who have helped her. It's for the countless children still fighting. With each brush stroke, she pours her heart into the canvas, crafting an image of a young girl standing before a sunrise, arms outstretched, embracing the light. The title? Hope Rises. When she finally steps back to admire her work, she knows exactly what to do next. She turns to her mother. I want to start something bigger, a foundation, one that helps kids like me use art to heal, to find strength, and to raise money for their treatments. Her mother smiles, tears brimming in her eyes. And what will you call it? Emma. Looks back at her painting, then at the check still framed on her wall, the one that changed everything. The Hope Rises Foundation, she says with certainty. With the support of Baron Trumbull, the art community, and the countless people, inspired by her journey, Emma's foundation takes off. Soon, children from hospitals across the country are given canvases and paints, encouraged to tell their stories through art. Exhibitions are held, funds are raised, and lives are changed. Emma, now not just a survivor, but a leader, travels to hospitals, speaking to young patients, reminding them that they are more than their illness. Years later, standing before a crowd at a gala for Hope Rises, she reflects on her journey, from a small sidewalk stand to a worldwide movement. She takes a deep breath, just as hope always finds a way. As the gala continues, Emma walks through the elegantly decorated hall, stopping to admire the artwork displayed. Each piece is painted by a child who, like her, once faced the uncertainty of illness. Some of the young artists are in attendance, their eyes filled with pride as they see people appreciating their work. A little boy, no older than 6, tugs at Emma's dress. She turns and kneels beside him. His head is bald from treatment, but his eyes sparkle with excitement. I made this one, he says, pointing to a painting of a shooting star streaking across a dark sky. Mommy says wishes come true if you believe hard enough. Emma smiles, remembering the countless nights she had wished for healing, for hope, for a miracle. She's right, she tells him, and sometimes we don't just wish, we make our own miracles. The boy grins, holding onto her hand for a moment before running back to his mother. From across the room, Baron Trumbull watches, nodding, in silent approval. He approaches Emma and hands her an envelope. What's this? She asks. A donation, he says simply, from a few friends who believe in what you're doing. The world needs more places where art can heal. Emma opens the envelope, her breath hitching at the staggering amount written on the check. With this, Hope Rises can expand, reaching more children, funding more treatments, and giving more young artists a chance to share their stories. Overwhelmed, she looks up at him. I don't know how to thank you. You already have, he replies, by proving that hope isn't just a dream, it's something we create. As the night goes on, Emma takes a moment to step outside. She looks up at the sky, where stars twinkle above, each one a reminder of the battles fought, the lives touched, and the hope that continues to rise. She closes her eyes, breathing in the night air, and whispers to the universe, Thank you. because she knows this is only the beginning. The days that follow are a whirlwind of excitement and purpose. News of Hope Rises spreads rapidly, with media outlets covering Emma's incredible journey from a struggling young artist to a beacon of hope for children battling illness. Donations flood in, volunteers sign up, and hospitals across the country reach out, eager to introduce art therapy programs for their young patients. Emma, now stronger and healthier than ever, dedicates herself fully to her mission. She travels from city to city, visiting hospitals and sitting with children as they paint, sharing in their laughter and dreams. With every brushstroke, she sees the same determination she once had, the quiet belief that art can be a lifeline in the darkest moments. One afternoon, as she visits a children's hospital in New York, a nurse approaches her with a gentle smile. "There's someone who wants to meet you," the nurse says, leading Emma down a hallway to a private room. Inside, a teenage girl sits in bed, a PET sketchbook resting on her lap. She looks up, her pale face lighting up with recognition. "You're Emma," she whispers. "I've watched every interview about you. Your story, it kept me going." Emma takes a seat beside her. "And what's your story?" The girl hesitates, then opens her sketchbook, revealing pages filled with breathtaking portraits and landscapes. "I've been drawing since I was little, but when I got sick, I thought I'd never be able to do anything with it." Emma takes the girl's hand. "You already have. Your art is a reflection of your strength. And if you want, we can share it with the world." Tears fill the girl's eyes. "Really?" Emma nods. "Not just yours. So many kids out there have incredible talent, just waiting to be seen. That's why Hope Rises is launching a new initiative, a traveling art exhibit, showcasing artwork from young patients all over the country." The girl's face breaks into a smile, the first genuine one in a long time. "I'd love that." Months later, the Hope Rises art tour is unveiled, traveling from city to city, displaying artwork from children battling illness. Each painting tells a story of resilience, love, and courage. Emma watches in awe as visitors, some moved to tears, purchase paintings, knowing that every dollar goes toward funding treatments and art therapy programs. At the grand opening, in Los Angeles, Emma takes the stage, looking out at the sea of faces, artists, survivors, supporters, and those still fighting. She holds up a small framed painting of a sunset over the ocean, the very same piece she once sold on the street corner to fund her chemo. "This painting changed my life," she says, her voice steady. "But not because of the money it raised. It changed my life because someone believed in me when I needed it most. And now, through Hope Rises, I want every child to know, your story matters. Your art matters. You matter." The crowd erupts into applause, but Emma's eyes seek out one person, Barron Trumbull, standing in the front row, pride shining in his expression. She steps off the stage and walks over to him. "None of this would have happened without you," shakes his head. "No, Emma, it happened because you had the courage to turn pain into purpose. I just gave you a little push." As the event continues, Emma takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of her journey. She had once been a little girl, sitting on a sidewalk, uncertain of what the future held. Now, she stands in a gallery filled with artwork from children just like her. Children who, despite their struggles, have found hope in creation. She smiles, knowing this is only the beginning of something far greater than she ever imagined. Because hope doesn't just rise, it spreads. As the Hope Rises Art Tour continues to travel across the country. Its impact grows beyond what Emma ever dreamed. Schools, art foundations, and medical institutions begin integrating art therapy programs, recognizing the healing power of creativity. More children, once confined to hospital beds with uncertainty clouding their futures, now find purpose through their artwork. One evening, as Emma prepares for an upcoming exhibition in Chicago, she receives an unexpected call. It's from the director of a prestigious international art festival in Paris. "Emma," the voice says warmly, "we've been following your journey, and we'd love to feature Hope Rises as a special showcase. Your story and these young artists deserve to be seen on a global stage." Emma's breath catches. Paris, the city of art, of inspiration, of dreams. I don't know what to say," she stammers, overwhelmed. "Say yes," the director chuckles, "because this is just the beginning." Within months, Emma and a select group of young artists from the foundation arrive in Paris, their paintings displayed alongside some of the world's most renowned works. The exhibition draws massive crowds, and news outlets across Europe cover the extraordinary story of how a young girl's determination turned into a worldwide movement. On opening night, Emma stands before an audience in a grand Parisian gallery, her hands trembling slightly as she speaks. "I started Hope Rises because art saved me," she says, her voice steady. "It gave me strength when I was weak, light when everything seemed dark. But most importantly, it connected me to something bigger, hope. And now that hope belongs to all of us." Applause fills the hall, but what moves Emma most is seeing the young artists beside her. Some still undergoing treatment, others now in remission, beaming with pride as their artwork is celebrated. After the event, Baron Trumbull finds her by the Seine River, where she watches the Eiffel Tower sparkle in the night. "You did it," he says. Emma smiles, shaking her head. "We did it." He chuckles. "And what's next?" She turns to him, her heart racing with excitement. "I want to take Hope Rises beyond just art. I want to build creative healing centers, places where kids can paint, write, make music, places where they can heal, not just physically, but emotionally." Baron Trumbull studies her for a moment, then nods. "Then let's make it happen." Years later, the first Hope Rises Creative Healing Center opens its doors, a place filled with colors, laughter, and endless possibility. Emma walks through its halls, watching children paint, sculpt, and create without fear. She sees parents smiling, hopeful again. A little girl tugs on her sleeve. "Miss Emma, can I show you my painting?" Emma kneels beside her. Of course, of something even greater. As Hope Rises expands, its impact is felt worldwide. Creative healing centers begin opening in cities across the country, then in hospitals and communities around the globe. Each center becomes a sanctuary for children, battling illness, a place where they can escape the harsh realities of treatment and find healing through art, music, and storytelling. Emma, now in her 20s, is no longer just a survivor. She's a leader, an advocate, and an artist whose mission continues to grow. She splits her time between painting, speaking at global conferences, and overseeing new initiatives for Hope Rises. One morning, as she's preparing for a visit to a newly opened center in Tokyo, she receives a handwritten letter. The familiar, elegant handwriting makes her smile before she even opens it. "Emma, I always knew your light would shine far beyond that small sidewalk where we first met. You've turned hope into something real, Something that will last long after either of us are gone. I couldn't be prouder. Keep changing the world. Baron Trumbull. Tears fill Emma's eyes. She clutches the letter to her chest, remembering that pivotal moment years ago when a stranger saw her not as a sick girl selling art, but as an artist, a fighter, and someone worth believing in. She picks up her paintbrush and begins a new piece, one that will be the centerpiece of the newest Hope Rises gallery. As she paints, she thinks of all the children who once sat in sterile hospital rooms, afraid of what the future held. Now, they have a place to create, to dream, to believe. Place where hope doesn't just rise, it soars. And as long as Emma has breath in her lungs, she will make sure that light never fades.